Jabez was born in a small village within the tribe of Judah. His mother endured an exceptionally difficult labor, and the pain she experienced during childbirth left a deep mark on her heart. Out of this anguish, she named her son Jabez, meaning pain, or he causes pain. This name would become both a burden and a reminder of his humble beginnings. From a young age, Jabez became aware of the meaning of his name and the sorrow attached to it. His identity seemed tied to pain and hardship, not just in the eyes of his family but also in the perception of the community. Despite this, Jabez grew into a man of quiet resilience, determined not to let his name define his destiny. He sought meaning beyond his circumstances, learning to trust in the God of Israel. As Jabez grew older, his life was marked by hard work and perseverance. In the arid hills of Judah, he toiled in the fields, caring for livestock and cultivating the land. The resources around him were limited, and he often struggled to provide for himself and those in his care. His family was not of great wealth or status, and opportunities for prosperity seemed distant. Some avoided him, believing that his life was destined for misfortune. Yet rather than growing bitter, Jabez turned inward, seeking spiritual strength. He began to develop a deep and unwavering faith in the God of his ancestors. He knew that the God of Israel was not bound by human labels or circumstances, and that divine blessings could overcome any obstacle. One fateful day, as Jabez reflected on his life and the struggles he faced, he reached a breaking point. Kneeling in a quiet, secluded place, Jabez poured out his heart to God in a prayer that would become the defining moment of his life. "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain." Jabez sought blessings that would transform his future, asking for God's guidance and protection from harm. He yearned for a life free from the shadow of his name and believed that only God could lift that burden. Despite the simplicity of his words, the prayer reflected Jabez's profound faith. He understood that only God could enlarge his territory, not just in physical terms, but in influence, opportunities, and spiritual growth. Moved by Jabez's faith, God answered his prayer. From that day forward, Jabez's life began to change in extraordinary ways. His fields flourished, and he began to acquire more land. With God's hand guiding him, Jabez expanded his territory, becoming prosperous in ways he had never imagined. His influence grew, not just in material wealth, but in the respect and esteem of those around him. People began to notice the transformation in Jabez's life. Once ridiculed, he now became a man admired for his faith, wisdom, and generosity. Jabez did not forget the source of his blessings. He remained humble and continued to seek God's guidance, sharing his prosperity with those in need and using his influence for good. As Jabez grew older, he became known not for the pain associated with his name, but for the blessings and favor he received from God. He used his expanded territory and wealth to benefit others, and his legacy became one of faith and divine favor. The once marginalized man had become a symbol of God's transformative power. Jabez's story lived on among the people of Israel, passed down through generations as an example of how a person's destiny is not bound by their circumstances or past. His prayer, recorded in the scriptures, inspired countless others to turn to God in faith, trusting him to bless and enlarge their lives.